Hi, I'm John Dworkin.
And I'm Sunnie Harmon, and we're with LobbySC, a pro-business government relations firm based here in South Carolina. And there are 2 weeks left in the legislative session.
6 legislative days.
6 legislative days. So May 11th at 5 p.m. Any bills that haven't crossed the finish line for this year will roll over until January of next year, since it's the first year of a 2-year session.
Yeah, and Sunnie, what I'm hearing is really no issues are going to be taken up after May. Of course, a lot can happen in 2 weeks, but what I'm hearing right now is maybe the budget, and that might be it. Maybe one other
potentially
issue.
Maybe abortion. Yesterday in the Senate, they continued the House's version of the abortion bill, which basically was an abortion bill that the restrictions begin at conception. And so 22 to 21, the Senate moved to continue the bill.
Continued sounds like a nice word, but if you're a proponent of the bill, continued is not a nice word. It means you're going to continue it for sure, but that means next January.
So they cannot take up that bill again until January of 2024.
Yeah, that's right.
But the House does have an abortion bill that the Senate passed earlier in session. So the Senate has basically said it's now up to the House if any sort of abortion legislation is to take place this year.
So that is
fun times.
So continued. That's right. So next January. So also in the Senate, we've got the ESG, Environmental Social Governance Bill, Senate Bill 634.
Yes, this is Senator Josh Kimbrell from Spartanburg's legislation. It's actually a Senate resolution, and it says that the sense of the Senate is that no economic development incentives should go to corporations who are advancing or participating in ESG.
Yeah.
And we've seen a big anti-ESG movement this year on both the House and Senate side, in the Republican parties especially. So there's multiple bills out there, and then obviously this resolution, but it's being objected to by Senators Jackson and Senator Kempson at this point.
Okay, good. All right, let's see. We've got craft beer. You've been on that a little bit, at least in terms
Apparently,
of
I just enjoy craft beer better than you do. So this is a bill that's going to allow craft breweries around South Carolina to have a little bit more freedom to sell from there. Current law, if you go to a craft brewery, they can only sell you 1 case per day. And what the legislation would do is increase that to 30 cases per day. And then for craft breweries with multiple locations, they could transfer beer. There's a couple restrictions between their locations without having to go through a wholesaler. So it's a win for craft brewery. It's Senator Sean Bennett's bill, who's a big proponent of that industry.
That's right. Certificate of need has been a hot issue for a number of years, Sunnie. It really has. And what we're hearing, of course, subject to change, but what we're hearing is the certificate of need bill will be brought up in the House next week, but we'll see.
It passed out of 3M committee this week. It is a Senate bill, so if they did amend it in committee, so it could go back to if the House passes it, then the Senate can concur.
That's right.
Or they can end up in a conference committee.
That's right. All right, so let's see what else we have here. Solar tax credit.
So this bill passed out of a Ways and Means subcommittee this week, and basically the current solar resource energy credit only applied to projects of 20 kilowatts or less. This removes that provision, but was amended to make it clear that it would not apply to solar farms, but it would apply to colleges, universities, schools, hospitals, etc.
Right. I think that's.
Then the House focused on education savings account, so another school choice bill this year that they passed this week. Multiple school choice bills, I've lost count, have passed on the House and Senate side.
Yeah, that's right. So that's about it going on this week. A lot of other things going on.
And then the House should send the budget back over to the Senate next week.
So so that's what
another minor detail, but you just don't ever know this time of year on what's going to happen, especially with that abortion issue potentially throwing a wrench in things.
That's right. So we're hearing that the House is going to send that budget back over, but again, we'll see, Sunnie.
So thank you for tuning in this week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and you can find us at LobbySC.com.